Okay, so we had a rocking class until now. So we'll make sure this is working. And we are now going into the 5 worlds. Shlomo Melech, when he was wrote Eishes Chal, Pir Pasuk Soas Chesed Lo Shona, and we're saying it in the name of Shim Bar Yochai, the famous Kabbalist, who's quoting this Yochanan saying it in his name, that Shlomo Melech meant in that verse the 5 worlds that David his father dwelled in. And we're going to see in those 5 worlds, we're going to see deep secrets in Kabbalah and mysticism. And it's very important because a Jew, by learning these ideas, at least from Chazal, we're learning in Gemara Brochus, Daf Yud, at least by learning it, we're already stepping into that world a little bit, because Chazal is the revealed level of Torah. So if the revealed level of Torah discusses this, it means there has to be, for everybody, no matter, especially in our generation where we need to learn these things, for everybody there needs to be a revelation of this deep Torah. That's very important. So that 5 worlds, what are they connected to? So interestingly, in this week's parsha, last week's parsha, we had the Shem took us out of Egypt, and the parsha before that as well. Remember I told you there was 5 times snare. Moshe Rabbeinu saw 5 burning bush, 5 times mentioned the burning bush, which is connected to the 5 exiles that the Jewish people went through all in history, which is connected to the 5 Lashonis of Gula, the Hashem's languages of redemption as He takes us out of Egypt, and ultimately this exile now. So what's those 5 languages? We had them, Salti, Gaalti, Lekachti, all those different Lashonis. Hashem will redeem us, Hashem will save us, Hashem, all the different languages, He will take us. And what's the 5th one? V'avesi, and will bring us. Will bring us where? To here, to Eretz Yisrael. That's the 5th one. That's Kos Eliyah. There's 4 cups on Pesach night. The 5th one is Eliyahu Novi's Kos. And we're talking about a Malach Habris, Eliyahu Novi, in the previous Gemara, revealing that Sadokim also have a tikkun. Yeah, the Eliyahu Novi got a Kal HaKamal. That was Hashem Elokim. Sorry, Mepsodik, Shavs. She reveals Hashem is Elokim. Everything in the world is godliness. And every Jew in the world is righteous. And that's the ultimate truth. That's why He comes to every Brit, Milah. And that's going to reveal the oneness to the whole world. So the whole world will proclaim that truth. And in this stage of David HaMelech, who's going to be the father of Mashiach, that Shlomo Melech, who was almost Mashiach, had the potential to be Mashiach, he was able to reveal these 5 worlds. And what's these 5 worlds? These 5 worlds are really connected to these 5 languages we just said, these 5 redemptions, these 5 levels of the soul that are being revealed over history. There's 5 aspects of Torah. There's 5 aspects in Kabbalah of different worlds. And when he's seeing these worlds, David HaMelech in the Gemara, he's connected to 5 different levels of his soul. Because the Lashon it uses in the Pasuk, in the soul, the language is Brochi Nafshi, bless my soul. So there's 5 different times he uses that word, Nafshi. And that represents like a certain revelation of soul. There's a certain connection of 5 different levels of the soul. And once you get into these patterns and you start to understand, even the name of God has 5 aspects. It has the Yud K Vav K, which is the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey. And even in the Yud there's a coat, there's a thorn coming out, which is that 5th level, that 5th letter, which is a Yud in itself. So Yud of the Yud, the coat shall Yud, the thorn of the Yud. And that even in that thorn, like we said, the thorn bush that Moshe saw burning, is that highest level of Kesser, that crown, the ultimate that never will burn, because it wasn't burning. The ultimate level, the Jewish soul will never get affected by this whole journey in this world. And that's what David HaMelech, who epitomized the Jewish people, wrote that down into Tehillim and brought that alive. And that was the previous. He was in the womb of his mother. What did David HaMelech say? David the king. Shira, what did he sing? Shinama?
Shira, Dor, Nai,
Baruch Nafshi.
Baruch Nafshi.
Es Hashem. Chol Kovai. Hashem Kodsho. The previous one. We're going to make sure we get all of this right. That's the second one. The first one is what? When he's in the Krovai. By the way, that's connected to the Nefesh. We're going to go through each one at a deep level. Remember this. Connected to the Nefesh. You know what Nefesh is?
Soul.
It's the lower aspects of soul. It's the bridge between your physical and spiritual. It says in Kabbalah, I was just learning this week, that it's below the belly button. It's the world, the lower parts of the human being. It's where the liver is. It's where the spleen is. All the things that the physical, the lower drives, are all there. That's the nefesh. But that's the key to life. You have to have that. You have to take all the food of the world and get rid of the negative aspects and bring out the energy from it, so you can have life. And that's what bridges. If you've ever fasted, you start to feel weak, your body, because the main reason is your soul needs the food to connect the soul level of nefesh to the body to give it life. You think of it the other way. You think, if I don't have food, my body is going to die. No, the soul leaves the body. The only way the soul can be connected to the body is through the food. So once the soul leaves the body, then the life force leaves. You understand? Because really, what is the body? The body is made up of 4 elements: fire, water. This is in Kabbalistic order: fire, water. Some say water, fire, and then earth. Wind, and then earth. So there's 4 elements.
Oh, the 4 elements.
So that makes up a human being. But without the soul put into it, you're going to see later on in the Gemara such a wondrous thing that Hashem was able to put into these 4 elements, the soul, and give life to it. That's the soul. That's the nefesh. So that's the nafshi that he was praising from his innards when he was inside the womb of his mother. That's when he got that level of soul. Now, next one. He came out to the and he looked at the stars when he came out the air of the womb, and all the constellations. And what did he say? Malachav, the strength and koyach he does with his words. The Shemaya b'kol devaro, Baruch Hashem kol tzuvav. This is powerful pasuk that David HaMelech said. And this is the most important part, Al Pi Kabbalah. If you want to know the most important part of your being, is this element. This is the element of Ruach, the aspect of your soul, which David HaMelech was seeing all this wondrous creation, and was saying that's the Ruach, that's the emotional level. That's from the stomach up to the neck. That's the emotional level, the heart level, the lungs, the breathing, singing, emotions, and that's the hardest part of the person. Hashem wants the heart more than anything. There's lots of intellectual Jews nowadays. Very good. But that's not the most important part to work on. The most important part is to get it on the heart level. And you see, that's the hardest part. But David HaMelech was the king of that, because he was the man of tefillah. He built the base of English. He brought down the heart level. He was the representation in this world of the history of mankind. You have Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov were the head. Moshe Rabbeinu was the head, the Dorothea. They saw everything and they knew everything. But the aspect of the heart was David and Shlomo. They brought down the Ruach. That's the Ruach Hapeinu Mashiach Hashem. The Ruach, the Nefesh. There's the Nefesh and then the Ruach. The Ruach is the emotional level. So the Nefesh is the physical, your actions, your deeds. The Ruach is your emotions and your speech, how you speak to Hashem. Yeah? And that's really very important. It also represents the idea of reach, of smell as well. So an idea of connection with that. There's a bottom line is the emotions. And that leads us to a higher world. What's the higher world? The higher world, there's 2 worlds already just being described. The first world is what? The world of action. That's the formation of the physical body and the soul. That's the world of Asiyah. It's called the world of action in Kabbalah. Yechezkel Novi is quoted, and there's a whole book from Eric Kaplan that goes through this. But it's all from the Arizal. The Arizal says that Olam Asiyah is the world of action. That's what most people stay in and come from and busy with. A Jewish soul has potential to go to the next level, the world of Yetzirah. The world of Yetzirah is formation. That's the worlds of angels, the world of the stars, the world of the moon, the world of the sun, the world of all the creations beyond this world. And that's a wondrous world. And you start to see angels, the lower level angels, and that's a world of Ruach. That's the world where a person has some sort of balance between good and bad. The lower world of action is mostly not good. It says Robo Rubo Ra. Most of this world is evil. That's why it's such a challenge for every person who walks into this world. Because he's given a soul that can help him, but most of this world is going to pull him away from it. If he manages to stay strong, keep his principles, not like the Yoshkaniks, they make a whole new religion and take on all the crazy stuff from their other religions and make that part of their religion. So New Year's Eve is like a free-for-all.
It's just New Year. It's not like...
Or whatever, it's a free-for-all, party time. Yeah, but it came from there. So it comes a free-for-all. Instead, what? A Jew has to hold his principles from the beginning of the giving of the Torah.
You're allowed to celebrate New Year's.
I don't know, but whatever, till the end of the Torah, you can be respectful.
When I'm in America, like, you follow
yeah,
the law,
you just say Happy New Year. Say Happy New Year, you can say that. As long as you're not saying I believe in, Yoshka, you say Happy New Year.
I believe he was a real person, that's all.
Yeah, he was a person, but you don't believe he's a prophet.
No.
And he was there to guide us
No,
in the right. Some people do.
I want to start where you
And,
do.
and if in Islam, if you don't say he, some Islam believe that you have to say he's the prophet, and if you don't believe he's not the prophet, you don't believe Muhammad is not the prophet, you're going to die. Yeah, eventually. Yeah, I have to take it on, otherwise it's goodbye. Such a fundamentalist religion, and we know that prophecy had already ended already, so they're off the. Yeah. So that's part of the challenge of this world. But then there's the next level, the world of angels, which is already between the good and the world of good and bad, the world where there's a balance. There's potential to do Hashem's will and potential not. And that's already the world of Yitzirah. That's a higher level world. That's the Ruach, and that's the challenge. That's the level of challenge. To have awareness of God where there's a balance. Right? Where you start to see the wonders of the world. You know, for me that was the opening. When did I start really opening my eyes to God? When I looked at the sunrise, I looked at the sunset, I looked at the constellations, I looked at the wonders of this world, all the natural nature programs, and I was like, this is unbelievable. I took time out from TV and, you know, the whole media culture, and just looked at the world, and it was just overwhelmed. There has to be a God. This is unbelievable. I wrote a song called Creation Song. It's a beautiful song, like it's all I detune guitar. I don't really play anymore, but it's like really like this high experience. And then that's the Ruach. You have to, I was doing it for a lot of drugs, but the best thing is to do it from purity. To come to it by just looking at it with pure eyes. You don't have to have substances to open your mind. You should be able to just do it naturally. It's the hope. Oh, it worked. Next. Yeah, we want, this is going to be 3. So now it's 2. Okay, we're good, we're moving. Look at that, it worked in the end, thank God. So, sometimes you leave something and it goes. Okay, it's the next point. So, this is the idea of this world. So that, and then the second world, Yitzirah. That is unbelievable. You can think about it, what David HaMelech was saying, Baruch Hashem Malachav, he was praising Hashem. Now, Yonak, what's this? This is the third level, which I missed out, I got the order wrong. Today we're getting it right. Yonak Mishtei Imo. He nursed from who? From what? From the breast of his mother. Nistaku Bidala, he looked at the nipples. Amashira. Shinama. Baruch Hinashes Hashem. Do not forget the kindness of your mother, of the nursing of your mother. Ma Kol Gomalav. And Rabal, we already had Rabal before with the Sudoki. Sha'asala Dadim B'Mokam Bina. That was made these breasts, this place of nursing, in a place of understanding. That's where the neshama comes in a place of bina. Bina is already that higher world. I didn't explain it good the other day. Bina is that world of, it's called the world of bria. This is the source of all the Jewish neshamas. It's a feminine idea that a woman brings down the Jewish neshama. That's why if you want to marry a Jewish woman, she has the power to bring down the status of being Jewish. If you go with a non-Jewish girl, she doesn't have that ability to draw down a Jewish soul. A Jewish woman has the power to draw down a Jewish soul. That's a fact. Alpi Torah, halacha, spiritually. So the idea of Bina has a connection to this word of Bina, which is Bria. Bina is understanding. There's Chochmah in the spheres, in the divine emanations. Chochmah, Bina, Das, or Kesem, Chochmah, Bina. And then it comes down to the 7 Midas. 7 Midas is already the world of Ruach, which is the main place of where all the, we said it's below the human body, because the whole of the creation of man is based off the human form. The human form is made in a godly image. So we have the ability through the human form to tap into very deep secrets. Like the 10 plagues are really a fix of the 10